Welcome to the Bartenders Anonymous podcast, episode 2, if I'm doing this correctly. Released episode 1, and nobody listened to it, which is perfect, because I learned how to upload a fucking podcast to YouTube, and it's more complicated than I thought it was. So, it was a good learning experience, and I don't have to deal with any judgment yet of anybody listening to the podcast. So, that is kind of good for me, so that I don't have to worry about it, and I can speak freely for now, until I inevitably start blabbing my mouth that I uploaded a podcast, and then somebody will listen to it and go, man, that is stupid. But either way, I've been talking about doing it for too long, so now we're doing it. We're in the midst. Now, in episode 1, I'm pretty sure I discussed my fears of being fired from my job because of the podcast. However, incredibly unlikely. I quit my fucking job. So that doesn't matter now. And I don't know what the heck I'm going to do, but I know I was tired of working there. And there's some other things that have happened in my life that, that added to the decision to leave that place of employment. But yeah, a lot of factors that I'm not going to get into right now, but just the fact that I quit my fucking job, and now I'm going to have lots of free time to fuck around, and I can do the podcast and yeah, I don't know, go play golf and not stress about jobs in general, and go play golf and fuck off and walk my dogs and shit like that. Yeah, of course the clock, it will be ticking, so I'll eventually run out of money and have to get a job, and we'll just start the process all over again. But all I knew is I just had to get out of that fucking place. It was toxic for me, not for everybody. Other people will go, hey, that's a good job, why would you leave there? But I have my reasons, and when you've been someplace for 9 years, it starts getting redundant. And is that the word? Redundant? I don't have to practice my big words if I'm actually going to record them. But mundane and unfulfilling and just fucking pointless overall. You make decent money there, but at some point I got to go, if the money's out of the equation, what do I want to do? And yeah, so I'll find that out here pretty soon. My last day is on Saturday. And yeah, and then I'll have a couple months to figure out what the fuck I'm doing. So I'll have time to prep more for these podcasts and kind of get my thoughts in order, and I can think about one thing. Of course, I didn't tell anybody, oh yeah, no, I'm gonna work on my podcast project I got going. It's like, you don't tell people that when you're leaving your fucking job, because this is not a job. This is like my little side project that I've been working on. So I'm not anticipating making money off of this. This is just like something I want to do for my own creative endeavors. And listening to podcasts all the time, you kind of corrupt your own mind and go, well, I could fucking do that. And yeah, you can technically. It's just whether it's going to be good or not. And so I'm going to do it and see if it's good or not. And you don't really know. With this, you don't know until you just fucking do it, because there's only so many ways to prepare for it, and then eventually you just have to go, well, record something and release it and see if anybody agrees with anything you're saying or finds you interesting. And it could be super fucking boring, and it might be for the first couple episodes until I kind of get into a groove. The snot, always going to be a problem. Allergies, snot, phlegm. I'm on the freaking nicotine pouches. Those will phlegm me up a little bit. I'm trying not to drink during these podcasts, so I got some soda water and lemon. Who doesn't like some soda water and lemon? Crazy people. People drink fucking White Claws all the time. Why not soda water? And honestly, you get a good nicotine pouch and a soda water, and you get a little buzz. You're good. So that's what I'm working with right now. Trying to stay off the booze so I can be clear-headed and actually have some thoughts that are, I don't know, not idiotic and I don't know. Because I've tried doing this podcast drunk, and I got all those saved, but I did not release any of them. There's no way. I mean, they're kind of funny to me because it's just like my little library of shit that I can go back and listen to and cringe, and these will be a little cringy too. Don't get me wrong, but yeah, if I'm not fucking fucked up, then I can actually talk, and my brain will kind of keep the flow of the conversation going. Also, with all my free time, I'll be able to hit up some buddies, because I know I've talked to some of my longtime friends that I'm like, you want to do a podcast with me? It'd be fucking fun. Because all the greatest podcasts that I like, that I listen to, there's always a couple of people. I feel like 2 is like the sweet spot. As soon as there's 3, there's always somebody kind of sitting there. Also, my mixer only has room for 2 microphones anyway, so we're gonna go with 2 microphones max if I do a podcast with the homies. But that'll be fun to get the podcast rolling. I'm actually releasing some, and then I can be like, hey buddy, you want to do a podcast? I'm unemployed. Would you like to come sit with me and just fucking talk for an hour? These solo ones I'm definitely going to keep to like 20 minutes. But if I have somebody on here, then we'll just go as long as we feel like it. Yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at. I'm very excited for my last day. I've been kind of documenting how I feel in my memos on my phone, doing a little podcast to myself. But then I'm going to come on here and try and do a real one that I can release on YouTube, where I'm not like saying my name and shit. Which that's going to take some practice too, to not be like, me, my name. Keep my name out your mouth. So yeah, this is still good practice. Episode 2, this still might be kind of rough, but I'm trying to be consistent and try and do one. Didn't do one last week. Had some little bumps and bruises that I'm not going to get into right now, but yeah, let's just say I'm not going to be drinking for a while. And that's all I'll say about that. But yeah, I've got enough money saved up to get me through the summertime and whatever, and then I'll burn credit cards if I have to, and just survive until I find a job that I can go get some income rolling. But yeah, I just had to get the fuck out of that place before I friggin' blew my brains out. I wouldn't actually do that, but you know what I mean. When you're just walking around going, man, I fucking hate this place, and every day you say that, it's like, well, you should probably quit. Because I know it's funny in the moment, but then it's like I'm just spreading that bad negative energy to everybody that I talk to, and then they're like, yeah, I fucking hate this place. We're all like just collectively hating the place. And so I'm like, all right, let's go find somewhere where people don't hate their job. Even if I work at fucking Starbucks or something, who gives a shit? Also, the fact that I haven't learned anything, I think, in like probably 4 years that I remember. It was like I went there, I learned how to bartend. I bartended for like 8 years. And now I'm like a freaking, I don't know at what point you call yourself a veteran bartender, but was a veteran bartender there. And I'm like, okay, this sucks. Let's get somebody else in here. They can learn how to bartend and be excited and to learn new things. And I'm going to go learn how to make a fucking Java chip frappuccino or something, or work at a fucking arcade just so I can play arcade games. Golf course would be cool to work at, but I feel like you would just work during all the hours that you'd want to be golfing, and then you're just stuck sitting in the office at the golf course. So I don't think I want to go work at a golf course. I don't know where the fuck I'm gonna work, but first I'm just gonna exist for a couple weeks so I can clear my head, write out a little plan, get some ideas going of what the fuck I'm gonna do, and go from there. This thing is still set in bars. We're not doing bars. We're doing seconds, minutes. There we go. Okay, that's better. So, yeah, episode 2. Good things to come. Getting another practice round in here. Still probably no one will listen to this, but I'm trying to get a couple episodes built up so that I can actually have a little catalog when somebody does go to listen to it, so they can kind of figure out what I sound like and what I'm going to talk about. And honestly, I don't even know what the fuck I'm going to talk about. But as I get better at just recording in general and releasing consistently, then I can kind of start steering it and coming up with topics. And right now I'm just going to ramble for fucking another 10 minutes or so and just whatever comes to mind. But yeah, down the road I might get into some actual bartender stuff instead of me just being like, I fucking hate my job. Hey, I quit my job. Fucking happy days. Whatever. What are we going to do? Nobody knows. I don't think anybody fucking knows, really. Like, what do you want to do? You just end up getting some job that you hate the least, and then you just fucking work there for 30 years. I actually have a little plaque on that's hanging up in my wall from my great uncle that he worked somewhere for 32 and a half years. And it's like his retirement award, honorable award. And it inspires me to not do that. Because I don't want to just work at one fucking job just to, I don't know. Like, yeah, steady income is great, but I'm just like, at what point do you get to be like independent and work for yourself and figure something out like that? The other day I talked to this old guy that was like what do you say? He was like an airline mechanic or something like that he worked there for 10 years, and then he quit. Something that gave him like PTSD or something. He was like in the Air Force or something and whatever, but he worked there for 10 years and he finally fucking quit. And now he's an interior designer. And I was like, what the fuck? And he's like, that's what I like to do. I took the classes and I have like the software or whatever on my computer and I can design whatever. He goes and work, and it's something he actually likes doing, and he works for himself. And I was like, damn, that's freaking badass that you went and found something like that that's like, you don't really have a boss. You're kind of like a mercenary just going around like, hey, I'm good at this. Will you pay me to do this? Cool. And he likes it. So it's not like a job. I mean, it is a job, but it's like something you like doing. So it's like, hey, if I like doing puzzles, you just do a puzzle for a living, and then somebody gives you $5,000. Like, that's fucking nuts. So I'd like to find some niche thing like that I like to do. And but yeah, it wasn't the job that I had. So, but I made decent money there, and I got some money in my 401k. So worst case scenario, I know everybody's telling me not to fucking cash it out, but it's also my life, and I'll do whatever the fuck I'm gonna do. So if I need to cash it out, I'll cash it out and not work for like 2 years if I want. That's probably not gonna happen though, because the last time I took 2 weeks off, that second week I was like pretty fucking bored. But then you also have the anxiety of, oh, you're going back to work. Like, your 2 weeks inevitably will end. So no matter what routine you get into, you still have to go back to that shitty job. So now I don't have that feeling. I mean, I have today off, and then I work 2 days. And then I'm fucking done. They're going to walk me out the door, freaking hand in my shit, and no mas. Yeah, kind of scary, but exciting at the same time. So I'm not too worried about it. I'll fucking figure it out. There's jobs all over the place, and I've like my mortgage. Luckily, I got my house like before all the market around here kind of skyrocketed. So my mortgage is only like $1,300, something like that. And so I don't really need that high of a paying job anymore. It's like if I could make a couple grand a month, I would survive fine. I just can't be balling out with my freaking bartender money, going out and freaking drinking and gambling, going out to eat every week, and that shit is expensive. And so once you kind of cut that out, it's like, okay, well, yeah, I can freaking make breakfast burritos for 3 days for like $5 and then make a sandwich, and I'm kind of good for the day. And if I'm not drinking is not that expensive. If you go out and drink, it's expensive. But if I'm just not drinking right now, then that'll save me a lot of money too. So really it's going to come down to money for sandwiches and golfing and coffee and soda water. Because I get down on some soda water. And pouches. I'm definitely going to be on my nicotine if I'm not drinking. So, yeah. I had kind of quit doing the nicotine for a while, but then when I drink, then I want nicotine. They just go hand in hand. And now I'm like, well, I can't drink, and I just need some kind of escape from reality. Oh, that could be the mind of an addict. It very well could be. So, I don't know. That we'll work on that later. That's not right now. I'm moving into a new chapter in my life, and I'm like, it's kind of scary. I'm gonna have my fucking little 3 milligram pouches and some soda water, and I'm not too worried about that. So, yeah, podcast episode 2. This is nice. And yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to get a little spider web of ideas going of what the fuck I'm gonna do. But first, I need to make some appointments. Some like I need to meet up with some friends and just meet up with my friends and fucking bullshit and not worry about work, and I can bounce ideas off of them and do a little networking, and something will pop up. You know motherfuckers that know motherfuckers, and then you be like, I'm unemployed, and they're like, we need a person to do this thing, and then I can go, I do or do not want to do that. But you learn that from talking to people and figuring out where the need is, and supply and demand is how that goes. Yeah. I'm running out of brain juice already. Damn. And that's where me actually having some topics written out where I can be like, let's talk about yeah, I don't even know. That's where I was hoping to get like a comment or two to be like, what the fuck should we even talk about on this thing? But once I get a guest on here and I can kind of bullshit with them, I can let them kind of carry the podcast a little bit, which sounds kind of lazy on my part, but I don't think it's that crazy. It's like not all podcasts are just one dude fucking rambling into a microphone. There's some out there. There's some decent ones, but for the most part, it's like, you got two people bouncing off of each other. It keeps the actual conversation going. So otherwise, people are going to get bored of me just fucking rambling. Oh, the snot. Always with the snot. Yeah, I don't know. I'll probably end up like telling my sister about this podcast because she's the other creative one in the family that is always painting and doing weird shit, and I love her to death. And anytime I have like a creative idea, I usually talk to her about it. So I might tell her about the podcast, but I'm scared that once I tell her, then she's going to tell 3 people, and then it's like cat's out of the bag. But when you're releasing something onto the internet, that's kind of what you're doing. you're letting the cat out of the bag. And it's a very vulnerable feeling, but it's exciting, and I'm fucking bored with my life and the direction it was going. So fuck it. Let's put some stuff on the internet and be judged by the masses. And by the masses, I mean the fucking 5 people that will listen to this, and then but then that some people will tell other people, and they might check it out, and they go, "Oh wait, homeboy's got a freaking podcast going. Let's check it out." And then probably somebody will just end up know like who I am and put my name out there. But please don't do that. Please don't do that. I'll just delete the comments. But yeah, it's supposed to be the Bartenders Anonymous podcast, so let's try and keep it that way. To whomever does listen to this, yeah, because it's fun. It's fun for me, and I don't want to ruin whatever job I could have. Also, I don't even fucking want a job. I want to just fucking... I understand now the people that are just like, fuck jobs. I'm just going to live in a tent on the fucking side of the road, because that's how shitty a lot of jobs are. And obviously, I'm not going to let it come to that, but... And me having a stupid podcast is not going to stop me from working at a fucking dive bar. So... So I'm not too worried about it. But the thought is obviously there. So, yeah, what did we do on the last one? 20 minutes? Look at that, we're almost to 20 minutes already. I might wait till I've got like 3 episodes to tell my sister, and then she can go on and listen to them and critique me. I honestly, I tried some of the like past ones that I recorded, which they're all pretty bad. This one's bad. They're all bad. But this is the beginning of the project, so it's okay for it to be bad. It's meant to be kind of bad. But it's apparently kind of difficult to send somebody an hour-long file, whether it's through email or Facebook or whatever. It's like it's so much easier to just upload it to YouTube, and then it's like just go to YouTube and you can listen to it. So I'm learning some of this little tech stuff that I should already know, but I'm going to be 32 and I haven't done any classes. I'm just out here tinkering around on my fucking laptop and my recording software and my silly little YouTube account. So luckily you can learn so much crap on the internet. You just freaking just type in like, how do I do this? And there'll be like 5 videos. So luckily I don't need to go to some college class and pay them $5,000 to teach me how to convert a MP3 to an MP4 or fucking whatever. You just YouTube it, and then there it is. So that's the age we live in, which is kind of nice. Also, I'm not abandoning the idea of taking some classes. I might scroll through that little Shemekada website and see if there's anything that pops out at me. Because if I have just something that I find interesting and I have the time to do it, then it's like, okay, let's go get a part-time job and make some cash and throw it at this class. Because I have never done that before. So that would even just be a new experience for me. Just go into a college class. Because I've just never done it and I'm fucking 32 years old. I said I never was going to go to college or anything. And, but it's still there. You can still just go take a class for fun and learn something. It's like you're not just going to just die and to just stop learning when you're like 28 and then just go, yeah, that's it. I know enough shit. I'll just be done is kind of asinine. So if I find something interesting, I'm not opposed to going and trying it out. But we'll see. First thing I'm going to do is probably just exercise, eat a breakfast burrito, play video games, go play golf, clear my head, listen to all the podcasts that I want to listen to until I'm bored, and then I'll go, well, let's fucking try. I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do. So once I get bored, I'll find something to not be bored, and we'll go from there. So that's where I'm at. I quit my fucking job. I started this stupid podcast. And, I'm just going to enjoy my fucking summer. And we'll figure it out. So that's where we're at. The Bartenders Anonymous podcast, episode 2. Put it in the books. It will get better, I promise. Once I get a guest on here, and then there's somebody probably more interesting than me. But I'll practice my Joe Rogan skills on interviewing somebody and talking with them and bouncing off people. So slowly but surely, we're getting this snowball rolling. So you motherfuckers have a great day. And, quit your fucking job. Go do what you want to do. Who gives a shit? Rack up some credit cards. Live your life. You're just going to die anyways. Who gives a shit? All right. Peace out, Girl Scouts.